Want to get things started tonight. It is our special pleasure, unique pleasure, to have the head coach of the Capital City Go-Go, Jarell Christian, joining us via telephone. Good afternoon, Coach. How are you?
Andrew, I'm doing well. I appreciate you having me on.
It's our distinct pleasure. So before we talk about what you're doing now, give me your feedback on what had to be a phenomenal roller coaster ride of a year with the Capital City Go-Go.
Yeah, it was it was a spectacular year for us. Obviously it was our inaugural season. And us being an expansion team, Pops Mensah and myself, we knew we had something special. We knew we had a special opportunity. But we were able to have some guys get called up to some NBA teams. We were able to have some guys get called up to the Wizards and be able to produce. But the thing that I really, hang my hat on was the development of our entire roster. Those guys who were with us from day one got significantly better. And that's that's the point of a development team. Us putting our head down and doing the work on a day-to-day basis is a testament to the culture that we're creating and a big testament to our coaches.
Now, with you guys being co-located in the same city as the Wizards, how short of a lead time do you get before you know whether or not somebody's been called up to the big team, whether or not you're going to have them for one of your games?
Man, it changes. That's one of the challenges of all 28 teams in the G League. It's not just us, but it can change in a matter of hours. I recall one time we were playing in Chicago, and it was about 90 minutes before the tip, and we got word that Chase and Randall was not going to be able to play with us that night. So it could be as soon as 90 minutes before the game, or it could be the night before. But it's just something that you have to constantly be able to adjust to.
Now, what activities are you doing for the Go-Go right now in preparation for your second year?
Myself, Pop Mensah, our assistant GM, Scott Schrader, and Amber Nichols, who's our director of basketball operations. We're in close communication on a daily basis. We're just trying to figure out the processes that we need to continue to do to move this thing forward. So it's a lot of things that doesn't really have to do with the basketball per se on the court, but it's more about us creating an environment for our players to be successful. Where they're going to live, how we're going to transport them to and from practice every day, what kind of food we want to give those guys. So it's more so about us just taking a step back as an organization and finding little ways that we can make it better.
Now, how much is your job entail teaching the guys how to refine their careers and about teaching them how to be professionals as well?
A lot of it. I would say probably about 85-90% is basically us trying to instill some habits. That's why the development league is so important. You get a lot of young guys who have never been professional athletes before. So it's a lot of pressure on us to kind of show them what it takes to be a professional athlete. And we always talk about it's not just on the court. It's your daily habits. It's the way you're living. It's your lifestyle habits. It's your diet. And all those things are something that I don't take lightly. They all go into being a good professional. And those are the things that we talk to our guys about from day one. The nutrition, what they're putting in their body, how much sleep they're getting, what type of recovery they're having after practices and games. And that kind of just all goes into, being mature, being professional, and taking that professional attitude into your craft.
Coach Jimmy Fly here. I just have a question. In season, you being a coach, does your systems mirror the Wizards' offensive, defensive schemes, or do you have some liberty to, put some of your own basketball philosophies into the team?
Yeah, that's a great question. When I accepted this position, Scott Brooks, Tommy Shepard, Ernie Grunfeld, they did a great job of kind of giving me the freedom to coach and to find my voice. But a lot of the things that we do mirror that of the Wizards. The offense is pretty much the same. The terminology is the same. And basically the defensive concepts are all the same, but within the nuances of the game, I have the freedom to make simple adjustments, timeout situations, all of those things. I have the utmost freedom and the backing of the front office of that of the Wizards and Scott Brooks.
Coach, one follow-up question in regards is something similar, I guess. As far as your input in players, you're developing the players, but say, I know the draft's coming up, but free agents that might be out there that are going to come into the Wizards organization, do you have some input to say, I really like this guy, I think if we brought him in, to the Go-Go's. I can develop him. He's somebody I can help, take the next step to, play for the Wizards.
Yeah, that's one thing that we're all trying to get a good feel for. Tommy Shepard has done a tremendous job of identifying talent, and he really wants to use the Go-Go kind of as a platform to see where some of those free agents are. We had a number of free agents come in and play for us this year. We had some guys, Gary Payton being one of those guys, John Jenkins being another. And those guys are being considered for the Wiz, but, Tommy really wants to get them some game minutes. And if they can't find time in the Wizards lineup, they really want to send them down to the Go-Go and see what they can do within that system.
Coach, lastly, as we wrap up, what lessons do you take personally that you want to refine heading into year 2?
Being a better communicator, throughout the organization. There's a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of adjustments that happen on the fly, and you have to be able to adjust. You have to be able to communicate with the proper channels. So me doing a better job of just communicating. And then the next part is me having a better relationship with our players. There was a fine line of friend, there's a fine line of teacher, there's a fine line of mentor. But just me having a better relationship with them on and off the court is something I'm going to really grow in year 2.
All right, well, Coach, we definitely thank you for spending some time with us. We know you're very busy right now, and we wish you much success in the upcoming season.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jarell Christian, head coach of the Capital City Go-Go. And now in studio, we're going to transition to the Washington Mystics as we have Keith Jones, basketball analyst, sports analyst of DKN Sports, and our own coach, Jimmy Fly Hellmann. And gentlemen, we're going to talk about the Mystics, but right now, I believe we've got a package from the Mystics' recent victory over the Dallas Wings. So check it out.
Well, she spaces the floor, so we have her. If she and Elena are in together, both post players can shoot three-point shots. So now it opens up the lane. It gives us offensive rebounding angles, which Tiana also does. Her two best strengths right now are shooting threes and getting offensive boards, and she made good use of both of those in the last 2 games. So it spreads the court against teams, and it makes it hard. It's the same sort of thing that we faced in the playoffs last year when we played Seattle, when they had Howard and Brianna Stewart standing behind the three-point line. It makes it tough for defenses to make good decisions. No, it's not. That's every night. We shot 30-something in New York the other night. I don't know what we shot tonight. Yeah, well, the first, we had such wide open looks. Ariel missed wide open looks. We shot 31. We're down 3 from the other night. So, but we shot a little better percentage too. So, the game is going to layups and free throws and threes. And that's what we're trying to be really good at. It's the analytics tell you that it's the most efficient way to play. And if 12 threes is a lot of points. And so that's big for us.
TT's so efficient, but she can literally do anything on the court. So anytime she's on the court, the defense has to completely respect her wherever she is, because she can shoot it, she can drive, she can attack. She's a great free throw shooter. So it was fun to see her go off like that with a huge smile on her face. TT worked so hard. I saw it all off season. She lost a bunch of weight, so I knew something like this was coming. Yeah.
With you being doubled tonight and being able to see your teammates step up, how rewarding is that for you, knowing that you don't have to carry the load all the time?
It's great to know I have such a great team. There's never a need for me to force the situation. It's always better to just find that open person and let them attack and go off. So I have all the trust in the world in my teammates, and it's fun to play on a team like that.
The Washington Mystics just defeated the Dallas Wings 86-62 in their new home, the Entertainment Sports Arena. This is their 3rd straight win. China, what did you think of tonight's game?
I thought the game was amazing. They had good energy throughout the entire game. The fans were amazing. They were hyped the whole game, but it was really good.
Really good game. What did you think of Tiana Hawkins tonight, putting up a career high of 21 points? How remarkable was that?
She bought her A game. She wasn't out long, but she did a really good job. Her energy, again, just amazing. She kept it up really good.
I would totally agree, definitely. Her and Aerial Powers did tremendous things for the bench tonight. Well, there's truly no place like home, obviously, because our Washington Mystics have protected this new arena since they stepped foot in it, and I'm sure it will continue. Back to the studio, Jay Rochelle in China.
Great job, Jay, Rochelle, and China. And now with us in studio to discuss the Mystics' 4-1 start, 3-0 at the Entertainment and Sports Arena, are Keith Jones of DKN Sports and Coach Jimmy Fly Hellmann. And Keith, we're talking about this new arena, and it's a new look Mystics team where Elena doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting by herself.
Well, it's a great arena. I don't know if you've been out to Southeast to the arena or not. I actually called a TV game for both the DCSAA Boys Championship and the DCSAA Girls Championship, and fantastic arena, the Sports and Entertainment Center there in the old St. Elizabeth's grounds. It's a little trip to get over there, but it's a beautiful arena. It's a great place because it's more limited, Andrew, in the seating, so you don't have to get into a 20,000 plus seat arena like you do downtown, and it's really it was well done. The engineering on it, the sight lines, everything. Fantastic arena. It was great to call the games there, but it's also great to view a game. You feel like even when you're announcing the games, you feel like you're almost in the crowd.
So, Jimmy, we were talking about how Coach Tebow has been the head coach and general manager. He's done a great job assembling talent around Elena Delle Donne.
Yeah, through the draft, through some wise trades, they have what they need. I think if they can stay healthy, Miesemann can come back towards the end of the season to make the playoff push. But this team can score the basketball. They could score last year, but they could drop 90 on you.
They're averaging 90.
Yeah, at any game. So if they can play a level of defense to keep up with their offense, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with at the end of the season. They're sitting at the number 2 seed right now, 4-1, one game behind Connecticut.
They play Connecticut this week.
Yeah, so big ball game. You want to win those head-to-head matchups because, as I told you in our WNBA preview, no team in the last 11 years, I don't think ever, if I was able to go all the way back, has won the WNBA title unless they came from a 1 or 2 seed. So it's critical to get that bye and home court advantage.
And Keith, you talked about the venue. They're using that as a home court advantage. They're 3-0 there, and they've won all the games by at least 15 points.
Well, Andrew, the interesting thing about the Mystics is they have developed a winning program. So to see them start that well at home and 4-1 overall isn't exceptionally surprising to a lot of people that know the program. And they went pretty deep in the playoffs last year. They've been perennially making the playoffs, and they have a very good front office there. They've got good coaching staff and players. I mean, it doesn't get much better than EDD. I mean, she's a premier player in the league. They've had Christy Tolliver. They've had different players come through the system that really are impactful. And that's why I really love the NBA, because it takes you back to the early days of the NBA and the basics. Jimmy, you're well aware of this. You're a really nose to the grindstone kind of coach, and know the basics, love the basics, the give and goes, and the baseline action, and the jumpers, and different things like that, setting screens, just basic basketball, which helps you win games.
And we also were talking about the analytics of getting into the women's game. You see, he's encouraging them to shoot more threes. They actually, in this bench depth with Tiana Hawkins and Ariel Powers, they had 39 points between them as Dallas was determined to shut down EDD yesterday.
And you have to, especially when you have a star player that's going to be double teamed in the post, and she can make the passes out of the post, getting the ball reversal. People got to be ready to catch and shoot, or take it off the bounce and then reverse the ball to the other side of the floor. You got to be able to make shots. And this team not only is doing well from the three-point line, I think they're number 1 or 2 in the league in free throw shooting. They were last year. But everybody that steps to that free throw line, they gain a huge advantage. If they go to the line 24 times, they're making 22 of them. So that's a huge advantage against your opponent.
Now, the first game they lost was against Connecticut, but they didn't have Delle Donne, and then Christy Tolliver got hurt in the first half, so it's going to be a true test. Connecticut, a team that's done extremely well in the last couple of regular seasons. They faded, been upset in the last few years in playoffs, but this is a team that Mystics are definitely going to have to try to make a statement in a game this week.
Andrew, for some reason, there's something about the state of Connecticut and women's basketball. They just, I don't know, I guess it just translates over to the pro ranks as well. But what Jimmy was saying, and being a coach for a lot of years like he was, you have to do this transition, and he gets analytical, but there's certain things that make you a successful team. And you win as a team, and you lose as a team. And I'm sure in our next segment, talking about the NBA, we'll discuss team. I know I'm anxious to do that because that's what's right with Toronto and what's wrong with the town right now. But the Mystics really have an opportunity to continue to suck the community in, get the following that they so deserve. And again, playing in a brand new arena, that's kind of a trip that you can take to see how the arena is, but the basketball is top notch and it's great. And WNBA doesn't get the credit a lot of times that it really deserves.
That's a good family outing.
Yes. All right, that's going to wrap up our WNBA feature for this week.